Hello everyone, how are y'all doing today? I wanted to come on a little earlier today. It's kind of hard when you're traveling, trying to find service and do a live. I felt like I left a lot out last night. But I guess it's a good thing that it was really short. There's a lot more to talk about today. Pretty big, important things that need to be discussed. Whether or not these people feel they need to answer us or not, we can still ask. Whether we feel like it's going anywhere, all of this, it doesn't mean we have to stop just because they don't answer or because we feel like we're not getting anywhere. Imagine if my post made it all the way to KOAT or one of our news people. Imagine, and if they could hear the things that are going on. The Mescalero tribe and its leaders. Look into our leaders. That's so crazy. It's just really good to think maybe someone up there higher up can hear this and will come down and look at all this. Look into our money, our tribal affairs, and make sure that nobody's doing things they're not supposed to be doing. Nobody's treating us like criminals for medicating ourselves. They're not acting like doctors and psychiatrists. Because they're not. They didn't even attempt to educate themselves, because if they did, there's no way they would have decided this. They would not have gave us harsher punishments for a plant. So it's really crazy to think how uneducated and how our leaders think, how they make decisions. It's just, wow, nerve of them. So last night I did say that we would touch on Mr. Frizzell Jr.'s HR report. So I do want to get to that because the end came up a lot today. Man, the end came up so much. How many of you tribal employees received admin pay during your quarantine from work? If you were infected and you had to stay home and received admin pay, that'd be good to know how many of you received that. Because our IMG staff did not. No, our IMG staff did not. They did not receive any type of admin pay. Why are they different? They received the same horrible virus as us, as any one of us. Why are they different? But management was paid. Management got sick. Oh, they received their salary. Nope, we can't disturb their salary. What about the front line? What about the front of the house? They're not important? How many of you were infected with COVID? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that were infected from COVID. This is just by one conversation. I'm told there's so many more of you that had COVID from work. Did you receive compensation? Were you on admin leave? Anything? Because your managers did. Were you treated with the same care? There was a letter Mr. Frizzell issued stating that if you didn't feel safe, you wouldn't need to come back to work, and there would be no punishments towards you, no nothing. That was a lie. Was that a lie, Frizzell? Am I saying false things here? Because these are some pretty interesting things. You're calling a lot of people a liar if you say that's a lie. A lot of your staff is pretty upset about this. Did you report them as quitting their job to unemployment? Because now they have nothing. These families went without. Even the employees that were working and contracted COVID through work went without and are still going without because of their reportings to unemployment. There are no retaliation reportings. Why are you all better than us, management? How come you all are so special? Gabe, can you explain this? Can you explain why management gets paid and frontline does not get paid? That'd be good to know. Be good to know why management gets their salary, no interruptions. But us down here, all these mouths to feed don't matter, I guess. We're not part of your little group there. The employees that are non-tribal at IMG, at Travel Center, that have medical cannabis cards, are you employed there without any interruption? Do they ever tell you anything about being on our reservation? Under the influence, maybe. You know, just medicating yourself for your own health, your own reasons. Have any of you all been told anything about your cards not being allowed to utilize any of that on our reservation? Or is it just us tribal members that this law affects? Our employment, our everyday lives. Nelva, Judge Dahl, all you council members, Gabe and Eddie, which one of you voted? How many of you voted against cannabis, and why? Why? Let me know why. Let me hear your reasons why you feel cannabis is bad for us. Do we have any directors that hold cannabis cards? Any of you? Do any of you have a cannabis card? Because you know you're all admitting to utilizing marijuana. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have a medical card. There's nothing wrong with that. But do any of you have one? Any of you directors? Are any of you receiving any punishment for that? Any retaliation? Just anything. Anything. It'd be good to know. It'd be nice if Nelva could finally answer us. Judge Dahl, Gabe, any of you council members? All you council members, I could literally sit here and link you to a family member that utilizes marijuana. But you passed this without asking any of us, without considering why. What is their reason for having a medical card? Why would a doctor give them that card? And why would we think that we can go above a doctor and say, no, they don't need that. Let's give them some hydros instead. Percocets, I don't know all the different pills. I don't. But I know there's some pretty strong ones out there. I know a lot of people that have gotten addicted, have stomach ulcers from them. Cirrhosis. Look it up. Look it up, Nelva. Judge Dahl, Gabe, all of you. It's just crazy that I keep saying, Gabe, look it up. Gabe, how could you? Gabe. Because Gabe, I remember a time, our great leader, and his marijuana he had. Do you remember that, Gabe? Because I remember. How many of you remember that? Enough of us to speak up. I know this now. I've had enough contact, enough people that that say, how dare this person put these laws on us, punish us with his past, like none of us remember, like none of us were there. See what else we got here. We have our 638 programs to talk about. Social service. Social services is under one of the 638s. Is that correct? Is that one of our, was that our trial maybe to see how we did with our 638 program? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but man, aren't we failing? Are we broke? Is social services broke? Something we should know. Open up your little Facebook floor, Gabe, and let us know. How's social service doing? How are they doing? How's their funds holding up? And what did you all get from that 638 program? What lump sum did you all get? Shall we talk about any of this? You want to talk about anything yet, Gabe? Nelva? I'm sure you're very aware of all this. You all are okay with this? Just losing everything? Losing everything? This month on the 24th, we're going to find out if we take over forestry as a 638. That's so scary. Do you all know what that means? That's real scary. They put us in a real dangerous position here. So if we failed the 638 with social service, and if we didn't, show me. Let's see. Let's see all this. But okay, so if we did, then we're going to take over the forestry. What happens then? What all does that entail? What does this 638 mean? Isn't this something you should be talking about, Gabe? Use your Facebook the same way you do with updating us on COVID, and update us on this 638. Just talk about this. Let's see. What does that mean for you? What lump sum do you all get? And where does that lump sum go? And who monitors this money? And who picks who works there? Who monitors? It's you. You're going to pick all this. So let's hear your pros and cons on this. Let's hear why you're choosing to do this. Because what we're seeing from you by doing this just shows more money. Just shows that you're getting more money. You see more money coming in for you all. How does that benefit any of us? What does this do for us as a tribe? Us as a tribe. All of you that sit there with Gabe, ask him. Why? Maybe we should ask social service staff. Are y'all doing your job? You able to keep up? Y'all feel safe? You feel like you have a job and your funds won't go nowhere? This is just crazy. Miss Sherry Kaiji has to still help you all. And she refused to work for the tribe. That's so crazy. I wonder why she refused to work for them. And now she's still helping. Let's hear Gabe. What does this mean for us? What is this 638 program going to do for us? Let's hear your pros and cons. You're making all these financial decisions for our reservation, our tribal people. That it just doesn't affect now. It just doesn't. You all need to understand that. What he's doing now, no, it'll affect our babies. Our babies. Gabe, are you going to come and help our babies later on? Are you going to come back and help our babies? Nope, you're probably not. IMG. I had no idea. I found out some interesting stuff today. Did you know surveillance is not part of IMG? They are tribal. That kind of just hit something with me. Like, wow, we're always talking about, doesn't surveillance see all this stuff going on in their casino? All the interactions going on? It just has to make you wonder, like, what? Wow. I've had some people, and even myself, wondering about our enrollment process, our amount we need, and does everybody meet that quantum? Is everyone there? Because I don't think so. Maybe we need to have somebody come back in and look at all this and see who's accurately putting down things. We have people listed as full that are not. So imagine how that helps them down the road with their children and their children's children, but yet our children don't get that same treatment. Who gave them that full blood? Who? Why are they enrolled? Are their babies enrolled? And their babies' enrolled, but we can't? Something to think about. Maybe we need to have somebody look into this. Go back and look into all these records and see if it's accurate. And if we're just going to be adjusting these numbers for certain people, let's do it for all of us. Let's review the whole thing. Maybe we need to review that now, so we can enroll some of our babies that are not enrolled, but we're enrolling all these other people. It's crazy to me that our council members can claim to be full, and they're not. So why can't I? Why can't I say I'm full? That way all of my kids can be enrolled and their children can be enrolled. It don't work that way, you all. Someone needs to go in and check on that. Somebody. Man, I sure hope this reaches the news. I hope somebody sees this. Deb Holland, somebody reach out to them, let them know. I sat here and looked over all my notes. I thought, we have all these people here. All these people mistreating our tribal members, mistreating their own tribal members. Managers just living it up. Living it up on us. Why? Why can't we get the same? I don't understand why. I don't understand why they're more special than us when we put them there. Rehab. Who oversees rehab? Who does their billing? Who bills Medicaid for rehab? Do you all know how to bill Medicaid? And if you do, where does that money go? It's quite a bit of money from Medicaid. I'm sure they'd like to know that too. they have people working, and once these people start to ask questions, oh, well, let's go back in their record and, oh, you're terminated now. You don't have a high school diploma, a GED, but you knew that when you hired me, and I did a great job up until now. Yep, so let's fire you. You're speaking up too much. Let's get rid of you. Don't speak up no more. Just get in your work right and go drink and get pulled over. That way you can get a suspension pending investigation, and then they'll bring you back and pay you for everything. Yeah. So all these people can claim Medicaid, Medicare. We want to know if that's being spent right. Imagine if we lost that. You all look into our care center. Go over there, talk to the staff, talk to the patients. You need to care about how they feel. Those patients in there, they got us here. So you should go ask. All you council members, go out to these departments, go check on them. Go do your job. You have little committees. You're in charge of certain little departments. Go over there. Go see them. Go see how they're being run. Pull all the complaints on them. Check in on them. That's your job. Check in on these complaints. See what's going on with these complaints. So right here we have some HR documentation for IMG. Department of Human Resources Investigation Report 9/18. Investigation date August 27th, 2018 to September 10th, 2018. Investigators: Mr. Njadi, HR investigator. Miss Woods, HR director. Date forwarded September 12th, 2018. Now y'all need to pay attention to this, because this is something I just find completely insane. Insane. I mean, it's not even the fact of Mr. Frizzell's criminal record. I mean, like, that's not bad enough. Just this. The reports, the investigations that need to take place on these allegations in that casino. Let's get us some help down here. Let's call us some news people and get them down here. Get us some real help. Okay, let's listen to this statement here. The HR investigative team interviewed over 200 IMGR and C team members, over 200. We did not include the big game hunt department as we were not given the directive. How interesting that they weren't told to review that department. Y'all better review that department. Lot of money coming and going in that department. That's a big department y'all need to review. Yep, really big. So let's get back. Let's see. However, we recommend that management look into how the big game hunt department conducts business and how gratuities are accounted for. Wow. Good to know. We need to know these things. Mr. Signs, Miss Blaylock, let's hear from y'all. And the hours required for each individual guide to service their client, in which the client does pay a monetary fee for professional services to be provided. I hope they're professional services. I hope there's no alcohol involved, no partying with them. Wow. The investigation is as follows. Number 1, the investigation included supervisors, managers, and directors in a 2-week period from IMGR and C Casino Apache, the Apache Tea and Child Care. The child care is located at the Mescalero Inn. We were able to interview enough team members in this mentioned period to determine a consensus of what the findings are. 2, unfortunately, some of these findings are serious issues that reflect negatively on the COO's leadership and management style, and where he failed to consistently manage staff, ensure accountability, fairness. That one don't surprise me at all. Make recommended changes and or lead effectively. You couldn't lead effectively, Frizzell? Many of these issues are personal related, and because the Human Resource Department management and staff do not possess the necessary qualifications, this has led to operational ineffectiveness. Findings. IMGR and C handbook is not followed or implemented properly, which leads to unfairness and other issues as follows. There are some abuse of authority with certain team members and management. I'm sure some of you aren't surprised by that one. Next. Some team members use family members on the tribal council as a threat to other members, other team members. Tribal and non-tribal do this. Wow, that's just crazy. And management. This sets a negative tone and sets a standard of unfairness, which is part of the reason that non-tribal team members do not want to say anything. I believe that because even now, they're asking me to speak up because they don't want to say anything. Next, there's too much interference by the tribal president, vice president, and tribal council making recommendations and referrals and reversing decisions that have already been made with certain team members and without hearing or conference documentation on the situation. This also reflects negatively and unfairly on the chief operating officer and operations of the entire organization. Transfer policies not properly implemented or followed as stated in team member handbook. No performance evaluations were completed in quite some time for any team members due to weak HR, it says in parentheses. Certain members of management are not being held accountable or issued corrective notices for wrongdoing. Team members view this as, if they can get away with things, then so can I. Interesting. Which creates an environment of unfairness and hostility. How many of you like to work in a hostile environment? Nobody, huh? But apparently this is how we're going to work. Next, training is necessary in the areas of customer service, hostile work environment, discrimination, leadership, communication, risk and or safety and management training. Next, allowed alcohol consumption by team members and management, which leads to unethical behavior and witnessed by other team members, which reflects negatively on the reputation of IMG, RNC, team members and management, and the Mescalero Apache tribe. Department of Human Resources. Here's the next page. Page 3. So many pages. There are some instances where there is no repercussion for this behavior and loss of respect occurs between staff and management when this is viewed. Next, lack of accountability and consistency with team members and management throughout the chain of command. Next, there's a team member shortage in many departments as a result of tribal preference. I thought we didn't have tribal preference. I thought we didn't. Tribal preference law, because the same team members placed in these positions are constantly leaving and returning. In addition, the process with the Human Resource Department and Gaming is a lengthy process for hire or rehire. Next, there is evidence of discrimination, retaliation, unfairness, threats, and fear of occurring throughout the organization. This included both the non-tribal team members and tribal team members. Again, tribal council and administration is used as a threat because team members know that tribal council and administration will hear personal issues. Only when they want to. There is lack of marketing or concern for Travel Center. Wow. Hunt season interferes with some management availability due to participation as guides. What? Management is interfered with. I didn't know management could be guides. I did not know that our managers could be guides. Wow, do you understand that? Do you understand how important it is when we pull a manager to go get extra money, a second job? It's just labeling it differently. I didn't know managers could be guides. That's almost like a double dipping. Yeah, double dipping. That's what they're doing. All of them. We really need to review this hunting lodge. Mr. Sines, Miss Blaylock, let's look into these records. Let's carry on here. Let's carry on. There is lack of teamwork and very low morale throughout the organization. Lack of incentive programs. Currently, there is one program that only benefits the front of the house and anyone who is in contact with the guest. Many members of management review Unifocus complaints, and approximately 85% is related to lack of customer service at front desk, room availability upon check-in, and uncleanliness. Again, due to high turnover, preference law, and our team members call in, or the department is inundated with the revolving door of team members who cannot get other jobs within the casino. Hostile work environment due to bad attitudes, again, low morale. Preference hiring. There is the consensus amongst team members and management regarding the preference hiring law due to habitual abusers. Tribal members know they only have to work in different departments for short periods of time, and then they can either reapply in 90 days and or get transferred or quit, get terminated, and come back in 30 days for attendance issues. There's a high attendance issue at casino due to this policy. Good qualified applicants are overlooked for hire. That goes on everywhere. Everywhere. Our casinos, our tribe, everywhere. They don't care about what you have. If you're qualified, it's who you know. Human resource team members are not reviewing the applicants properly and sending stacks of applications to directors to weed on their own. Directors are also responsible for scheduling and conducting the interview, which is a human resource function. and being part of a team environment. The preference law is causing a very high turnover rate with a high rate loss to the business. The rate for turnovers is 1.5% to 2% for an employee's salary. For example, if a team member is paid $9.50 an hour, this equals $19,760 a year times 1.5% equals $296.40 per employee per week, with a minimum of 20 employees per week leaving or being terminated. This equals $5,928 loss in 1 week, in parentheses here, which equals $23,712 a month that is loss. Over $300,000 a year or more the casino business is losing. This cost does not include the amount of uniforms that are being purchased, issued, sometimes not returned, and gaming licenses being reissued and or not returned, loss. In addition, this impacts unemployment at a high rate, causing the casino an added loss of costs. This is most likely higher, but this is just an example of what the IMGR-NC as a whole is losing as a revenue with the preference ordinance. Many of our tribal members do not like the ordinance because it is not working as they state. One department has had to bring the same person back 12 times. Man, you sure are lucky to get your job back 12 times. Who do you know? 12 times. Tribal members use their ordinance to their advantage and are abusing the attendance policy because they know they can be considered for rehire after 30 days of termination. Wow. This does not make sense because this is a policy violation, and policy states that if you violate policy, you cannot be eligible for 90 days. Also required a PIP. Policy is not clear as to what the violations are for the 90 days. Grievance process needs to be conducted in a fair, neutral manner and not utilize IMGRC team members. There is no management on duty in the evening hours, at least until 11 p.m. in parentheses. So team members are constantly looking for help on issues that arise and many times cannot get a hold of anyone, nor by telephone, or having to ask security or others for help. There is no guidance for team members seeking assistance. Nepotism is still occurring and nothing is being done to prevent this, although IMGR-NC policy states otherwise. Majority of team members feel they are not valued and are in fear of losing their jobs. Aren't we all? All of us lower ones anyway, not as management. This type of environment causes reports of discrimination, retaliation, harassment, favoritism, unfairness, mistreatment to go unreported. Team members state there is lack of confidentiality throughout the organization, to include the Human Resource Department. IMGR-NC Human Resources Department. There is no confidence in human resource. Excuse me. Let me say this over. There is no confidence in the human resource director or many of the team members. Human resource team members, some not personable and not positive reflection on the department. Human resource team members lack the necessary knowledge in the human resource field. Team members of the Human Resource Department do not have faith in their own director's ability to lead them, mentor, or train them due to human resource director's lack of own knowledge, skills, and ability in human resource field. That's why we're failing. Applications are not screened by the human resource team to ensure applicants are meeting minimum qualifications. of the position in which they are applying. Instead, all applications are sent directly to department directors for them to do themselves. There is no human resources rep available in the interview process. Instead, department directors have to interview all applicants, schedule and interview applicants. The hiring process takes up to 2 weeks, which is also a problem with gaming and delaying a process or the process. Human resource director was unavailable to interview. Now, this one is the part I would really like for you all to listen to, because this is our Chief Operating Officer interview. Mr. Frizzell, are you listening? I hope so. I hope you all are having a little meeting somewhere and watching this as a whole, all of you. All of you that are sitting in that council chamber with these other council members and you don't agree, speak up. If you know it's not right, speak up. Fight. Fight against them. Make them prove you wrong. Let them show you what we all want to see, what we all need to see, what's right for us to see. Now, Chief Operating Officer, COO, I oversee all gaming and hospitality operations. I am GRNC. Casino Apache and Ski Apache. I am currently working on initiatives with Warner Gaming. I'm sure he is. Initiatives such as the spa, sports betting, casino floor, reconfiguring the layout and growing the business. And growing the business. Warner Gaming Management oversees all operations. Why? Although Mr. Frizzell admits that he could have done better, he never, like every other employee, had the opportunity for a performance review by any of his supervisors. By not having a performance review, y'all listen to this, okay, because he says a lot of things that don't make sense. By not having a performance review completed annually, in part of the reason for a team member, manager, director, COO to not know or be aware of what areas he or she needs to improve. I never had a performance review. I was never told I was not doing a good job. These are Frizzell's words, you all. This is his interview, okay? I have given some performance reviews, but not to all. The process needs revision. Difficult for COO to perform with many outside interferences. One example is administration and/or tribal council making referrals for employment. This reflects negatively on the COO and looks like he is not following policy by having to place employees sent by someone else for employment. This shows unfairness to other employees who have to follow the hiring process the correct way. COO states, support from the management board varies. Seems management board is one-sided when making decisions. Human resource related issues have become part of daily duties. We have a great human resource director. The current human resource director is not at the level of the former human resources director. Unifocus. Each director department handles their own complaints. I do follow-up. We want to coach, fix the problem. I do meet with directors weekly for about an hour. Walkthrough. Several times a day, mainly here at the resort. Weekly at Casino Apache. I am in constant contact with Ski Apache director. I adjust my hours to be present for all events. I require the front of the house director to be there as well. Departments are required to have supervisors throughout shifts. Do you all have a supervisor overnight? I am in contact with Warner Gaming on a daily basis by email. We'd like to know what you're in contact with them about. A lot of our business marketing strategy comes from this, and we implement it. We are thriving and we pay the bills. We have tribal members in management positions. We went from 32% tribal team members to 60% tribal team members. 60%. Tribal member management does not have problems within itself. Decisions are overturned when the team members come down here. IMG, RNC team members have always come down here, but I think it has gotten worse. Adequate training, I believe a majority of them do. How can you say that when you haven't even done their reviews, but now you believe they have adequate training? I think the inn can do a better job. Man, they sure can. We can start with you. We can start with you. Warner Gaming came out 2.5 weeks to teach me as a COO. I definitely, listen to this, I definitely know the job. But didn't you just say earlier you haven't had adequate training to conduct all these things? That you didn't know all this needed to be changed? But right here, you definitely know the job after 2.5 weeks. Wow. You hear that, y'all? 2.5 weeks. That's all it takes to run a casino. To run 2 casinos. A casino, a travel center, a ski resort. 2.5 weeks. That's all it takes to run all of that. Adequate training as a COO, it is a constant learning process. The business is always changing. Preference law, I think intentions are right. Management board has the final say. I meet with them every month. The management board is well updated and I am in contact with the president on a daily basis. I have increased tribal employment and paying off debt. Prove it. Prove it, Frizzell. Prove it. Right here you say, I have increased tribal employment. Prove it. Prove it. You also state, paying off debt. Let's see. Let's see what debt you have paid. Your debt for your condos? What does Warner get? I'm not going to quit. I'll go every day. Every day I'll ask. I'll ask these questions until one of our leaders decides they want to answer us, talk with us. Just any questions, any of them. But these cowards, they know. Don't open that mouth. Okay, this one, guys, this just cracks me up. This is just, man, this is a response to HR's findings from Mr. Frizzell, J. Frizzell, Jr., dated September 11, 2018. Subject, suspension. It's addressed to President Blazer, also to William Warner. Now, y'all need to listen to this man. It's so funny. This man who is capable of running our entities. doing these great things with such high numbers for us. Let's see. Let's see them, Frizzell. Mr. Frizzell's words, here you go. Dear sirs, I am writing this letter today to address my current suspension and future plans. I first want to express how grateful I have been to hold the position of Chief Operating Officer for the last 7 years. 7 years, that's a long time. Under my leadership, we as a team have made so many great accomplishments, from reducing massive amounts of debt. Prove it. Right here. From reducing massive amounts of debt. Prove it, Frizzell. Prove it. To increasing tribal employment to over 60%. Y'all believe that? Prove it. Prove it, Frizzell. To regaining our AAA 4-diamond rating. Regaining. How did we lose it? With such a great COO, how did we lose it? We opened new outlets, renovated rooms, and had numerous successful construction projects. I am proud of all these achievements and the millions of other great memories in which have occurred over the years. We didn't hire you to make great memories. We hired you to pay off a debt, improve our casino. But I'm glad you have some good memories there. It's good. With that being said, it is unfortunate in which the position I have been placed in and how long this 3+ week suspension has gone on without resolution. I was placed on suspension by pure hearsay, with only one side of a story being heard. I read 2 sides. I don't know if y'all heard me, but I read 2 sides. His was one of them. But I guess it was just hearsay, I guess. Maybe it wasn't him. This has caused my credibility and my character to be severely damaged in such a small community. Over these last 3 weeks, I have been told rumors in which were said I was caught embezzling money, and rumors that I was in Club 49 with strippers or caught on camera doing inappropriate things, all of course which are untrue, but yet still is a permanent attack of my character. Prove it. Prove it here that you weren't in your office watching other tribal members dance for you with your other tribal member managers. Prove it. Somebody needs to investigate that because that's really big. Really big. I sure hope it's not true. I know every one of those people. I really hope that's not true. His third paragraph. As a member of the Mescalero Apache tribe and someone who has faithfully served his enterprise, this enterprise, since I was 13 years old, I don't deserve to be treated so unfairly. I cannot remember a time in my career where an individual was placed on suspension for the better part of a month without resolution, but yet here I am 22 days in and still left in the dark. Did you survive? Are you okay, Frizzell? You should have let us know. We would have checked on you. Wow. None of us have to put up with that. Have any of you had to? Nope. Y'all get put on suspension? Anyone check on you? Did you get your job back? Probably not. The last thing I want is for the enterprise to suffer. I have loved and cared for the success of my tribe my entire life, and that is proven in the results of the company under my leadership. He does say it right there. He does say it's proven. It is proven. You can look at everything and see, all the great things he has done. I do understand this business is bigger than myself, and I want the success to continue without this situation being a distraction for those who are currently serving our guests. I am no longer, sorry. I am the longest serving COO since the new collective company opened in 2005. There were 6 others prior to me in the 6 years. Maybe we should talk to those 6 others and see what they have to say. The first 2 had employment agreements and received severance packages upon departing. The rest did not earn enough time to even be considered. I do not have an employment agreement, but I feel if the tribe would like for me to step aside without protest, I am willing to do so for the sake of ending this process if given ample time to secure employment elsewhere. How many of you were given ample time? How many of you were given the opportunity to write a letter for your demands? My children are in high school and middle school and don't want to leave town within this school year. I do know it is unrealistic to receive a year's pay. This part gets really interesting, y'all. Y'all listen to this, okay? Because this part is so crazy. Unrealistic to receive a year's pay as the former COOs did with employment agreements. However, I do need to provide for my family while searching for new opportunities. I have made it a point every year to work hard for this organization's success and prepare it for a time when I do leave. And all that I ask as a tribal member is for the company to give me the opportunity to be successful without suffering while looking for future employment. I have done nothing wrong. Frizzell. I have done nothing wrong, he says. Nothing wrong. To deserve to be disciplined. But I understand if some members of the tribe want to go in another direction with a fresh perspective. Therefore, in an effort to end this painful process, poor thing, I offer 2 different scenarios to consider. Oh, did you all help him out? I hope so. I know we did. He's still there. Let's see. Number 1, I asked to be returned to work for a period of 2 to 4 weeks to properly transition the property to an interim COO and receive severance pay of 6 months. How many of you get to request severance pay for 6 months? Plus your job for 2 to 4 weeks. Like we need him to train somebody. We need to bring someone in to train him again. Continuously for years. So he can learn something. Number 2, I resign immediately and receive severance pay for receive severance pay of 14 weeks. In addition to the last 2 weeks, I was forced to use personal PTO. How could you all do that to Frizzell? He had to use his own PTO. He was forced. Man, what's wrong with you guys? I hope you all met his demands. Doing such a great job for us. I would also be willing to sign a non-disclosure, including not talking to investors the press, or anyone else regarding a mutual separation and internal operations of this business. I almost feel like that's a threat to your people, Frizzell. You will not talk to investors or the press. Why would you do that to your people? I thought you cared about us. Why would you even need to include that? Why would you do that to us? I don't know, but he's still there, y'all. I thank you in advance for your willingness to work with me on a solution to this issue, and for a fresh start for both the collective enterprises and myself. Feel free to email me, call me at the number below, or call me in for a meeting and face-to-face discussion. Thank you. Respectfully, Frizzell J. Frizzell Jr., Chief Operating Officer. And then he's got his number there to contact him. Right there, his signature. You see his little signature there? Yeah. So, let's hear from you, Mr. Frizzell. Let's hear from who put him back in there. Why? Why? How does he even have a gaming license? This is why our casino is failing. Because we have people like this in there. These jokes. These uneducated people. Have y'all thought about all the questions I've asked? Have any of you mentioned this to your fearless leader? Gabe, have you connected on while you're sitting in your little meetings, your little Facebook feeds? We need a public meeting, a general meeting, y'all. We need something. We need them to answer us. We need to know who put Frizzell back in there after this report, after this crazy report. Who put him back in there? It's just like all our other directors. This is what we're teaching them. One director to another director, drinking and driving, drinking and beating people up. Putting shows on in their office with strippers, dancing for them. You ladies, all these ladies listed right here are tribal. You 3 men listed are tribal. Man, what's happening with our people? Where's your respect for yourself? I will be damned if I'm going to let Gabe and Tyner and Frizzell punish me for smoking my plant when they used to sell it, have it, whatever these people say. I've heard so many people today tell me, do you know where I got my weed from? And I remember being there. He forgets we're the same age. All worked at the same places, grew up in the same places, hung out at the same places. Let's see these charges. Look around your community this week, people. Let's see what's hanging out there. Who's leading us? You better start talking to your people, Gabe. Nelva. Start including us. This 638, it affects you all. It affects their pockets greatly. It affects their pockets greatly. But what does it do for us? What does it do for our children? That casino? Why are we still paying Warner? Why are we still paying Frizzell? Why is the hunting lodge not looked into? Let's go in there. Let's see Herman's books. Garrely. We have a right to all of this, you all. This is our money. This is our enterprise. We put these people in there to make decisions for us regarding these places, and they're failing. Failing by their own words, their own reports. Failing their own people. All these people on here complain, talk about how they're treated over there. IHS, I don't even know how we affected IHS, how it got there. How Miss Chavez treats people. Miss Adams. Why are we sitting in the waiting room waiting? We should just call them so they can take us straight back. The next time you're sitting there waiting on your contract health appointment, call Helen, ask her what she has them doing for her so they can get back to their office and do their own work. Every native is the same. You shouldn't go straight from nursing to management. You shouldn't go straight from suspension back to management. Review your departments. Get people out. You council members that are fighting against the other ones, speak up. We're all here. We all know. We're all waiting. Get the news people down here. Get the Deb Hollins down here. Get her down here. Get us some help. See what these crooks are hiding, these criminals. Let's talk about these August dates we threw out yesterday. Let's see. Man, oh, December 28th, 06. Sentencing. Big days. Sentencing days. Where's Mr. Cervantes' paper? Stop by, any of you. Come see me. Gabe, Nelva, Tyner, Judge Dahl. All of you, call me in. I'll come into your chambers. I'll answer any of you. To your face. Not right here, to your face. Do we have any nurse managers that have had charges before? Discrimination against them? Anything? All you nurses that are tribal, even non-tribal, speak up. If you're not being treated right by these people, speak up. They have no business treating you this way. No business. We're all from the same place. They're not any better than you and I. They should be held to the same laws as you and I. And I know some of you it's hard to listen to because this is your family, your friends. But half of the things that I'm talking about here, all this stuff I'm bringing up, they are my family, my friends. My ex-coworkers, those are my friends, or I consider them my friends. I'm probably not considered a friend anymore, but I considered them my friend. But regardless, if you're not meant to be somewhere, then you shouldn't be there, and it's time to speak up. It's time to start telling the truth. Stop hiding things for all these higher ups. Make them accountable. You know, I sat there one day and I watched them remove a children's court clerk. And I thought, man, what are they doing? What are they doing? This is the children's court. This is gonna mess things up. It sure did. Even this children's clerk, she was terminated, but she still stayed on long enough to try and train the next girl because she understood how important our children are to us. But it's who you know. It's proven. Everything is documented. I'm still waiting to hear a response from any of them. All these people I've mentioned in these videos, my Prove Me Wrong, none of them have answered. None of them have attempted. Nothing. Gabe, you're supposed to. You're an elected official. All you council members. Lauren, you're up there too. You're answering for him now, so you should answer too. Yep. Miss Chavez, Miss Adams, Mr. Frizzell, all of you people. I'll be back. We'll ask more questions, do a little education. Who knows how many more phone calls we'll get. Share my video. I really like it when the people that don't like me share my video, because then I know that for sure they're seeing it. And all of you that said prayers for me, continue, lift me up in prayers. I'm fighting against some real demons here. Backsliders. Got to be careful. I need all the prayers I can get. And all of you that have your weed, go smoke a fat joint. Load you a fat bowl and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Pretty soon we'll all be able to. We'll be able to profit from it. Through wealth and through health. You can profit. And if our leaders knew that, we wouldn't be sitting here right now being treated like criminals by criminals. I'll talk to you all later. See you all.